In New York, Virginia, Vermont.
Happy birthday to you.
They're expanding abortion, allowing killing even after birth.
Happy birthday, dear.
End birthday abortions. Urge Congress to protect the life of every newborn baby. Visit endbirthdayabortion.com.
Even though, as we've made clear repeatedly, and as the text of this bill makes indisputably clear, this bill has nothing to do with abortion itself. Nothing in this bill changes the slightest letter of Roe v. Wade. Nothing touches abortion access in this bill. This bill is about living and breathing babies that are alive outside the womb. That's all the text of this bill does. But Planned Parenthood and NARAL and their allies feel threatened by a bill to protect alive, out-of-the-womb babies. In other words, unlike this legislation, Planned Parenthood and others refuse to draw any line between abortion and infanticide. That's what their lobbying the last week has shown. That should tell us something about what these groups are really about. What they're about is a society built on power. The power of some people to decide whether other people get to live or die. And this bill is a stumbling block to anyone who thinks that some lives are less valuable than others. This bill is a stumbling block to anyone who thinks that certain human beings should be disposable. This bill is a stumbling block to anyone who thinks that we should be able to quietly rid ourselves of little people who are inconvenient or supposedly unwanted. They're not unwanted. There are lots and lots and lots of people in every single state in this union lined up, waiting to adopt, including kids that have lots of hard life circumstances. In every state, there are waiting lists of people who will take so-called unwanted babies. America is a country built on a different principle. Ours is a country dedicated to the proposition that all men and women, all boys and girls, are created equal, even the littlest, even if they happen to come into the world in the most horrible of circumstances, even if they're crippled or inconvenient or apparently for a moment unwanted. Ours is a country that recognizes the fundamental, indistinguishable dignity of every human being, regardless of race or sex or creed or ability. As a country, we've struggled for 2 centuries, sometimes at enormous cost, to extend these basic human rights to more and more of our fellow citizens. Today's vote is simply an opportunity to continue that work. So let me say, Madam President, by way of closing, despite oppositions and setbacks, despite some strange rhetoric about this bill over the course of the last week, I'm hopeful in the long term. Deep down, each of us knows that every member of our human family ought to be protected and deserves to be cherished and loved. And the love we see every day in the eyes of moms and dads for their newborn babies is an inescapable reminder of that most fundamental truth: love is stronger than power. Thank you, Madam President.